All right, we are live. This is Soundbooth Theater Live, and welcome to the Cold Reads of Chrysalis Volume 6, Part 2. Part 2 of the Cold Reads of Chrysalis Volume 6. Thanks for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Let me get Instagram going. Doom. Let's see. I gotta redo it because am I already live? Am I already live on Instagram? I do not understand Instagram. Are we live now? I don't get it. Sorry, guys, just troubleshooting myself here. You're already live. You need to change the stream key. Okay, I'm going to do that. Remove. And now add Instagram. Do this. Sorry, guys, this is silly. Create live video. Public. Next. Copy. Save. All right. And I think we should be live. I don't know. There we go. Now we're live. All right. We are live on Instagram now as well. Thank you, everybody, for your patience on that. Yeah, so yesterday was a very fun day. I'm so happy to be back in the saddle when it comes to Chrysalis. This is one of my favorite audiobooks to narrate just because it's so high energy and optimistic, and I tend to just zoom right through it. We got through 10 chapters yesterday. Now, admittedly, they are short chapters compared to other books, but nevertheless, we did make it through a shit ton of it. Okay, let's see here. I need to give somebody... Oh, I need to announce. I forgot to announce to everybody this was happening. Let's see. If there's anybody on our Discord, if you could please make an announcement about us going live here. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, let's get this going. What's up, Rooster Jazz, C-Tac Stalker? Yeah, I recognize that people think that the volume's low, but there's not really much I can do about it because it's not in order to turn myself up. Well, let me see if I can do it in mic volume. Here we go. All right, I just doubled the mic volume on the stream. How's that sound for everybody? Is it better? Is it too much? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I have to keep it a certain level of lowness in the actual Ableton software in order for our polisher to have something easier to work with. All right, so let's start presenting. All right. Chrysalis is ready to go on here, and let's switch me up here. All right, here we go. And that's what the 10 chapters looks like so far. Let's get on over here and start the next chapter. All right, before I get started, just want to remind everybody, go to soundbooth.app and find Garralosh. That is our short story about one of the big bads from earlier in the series. And it's first person. Is it first person? Maybe it's not first person. But Annie Ellicott narrates it. She plays Garralosh in it. And it's just a bit of an origin story there. And it's free. So you can pick that up on soundbooth.app if you are a fan of this series and you just want to get a little bit more. Also, there's plenty of other free stuff on the app. Lots of first episodes of cinematic audio, including the Dungeon Crawler Carl Audio Immersion Tunnel, Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon, The Stars Have Eyes by Neven Iliev, and Earth Force by Shemer Kuznets. So yeah, go check it out. Find all the free stuff, gobble it up, and if any of that free stuff lures you into buying the rest of the series, well, I suppose we wouldn't mind you buying stuff from us either. We have a new series that just started. I wonder, I think tomorrow is the release of the next installment of it. It's called Pluck and Cover. That is the first short story in the Wrinkle and Crime series, the Zombie Cosmetologist, and it is written by J.D. Blackrose. It is narrated by Ryan Reed. I am in the cast as well as Jessica Threet and Justin Thomas James, and it's seriously a hilarious series. I really enjoyed performing in all of it. Yeah, I especially liked the character I played named Early. I just like doing that Southern accent thing, and this one he's like kind of old school Southern accent with the non-rhotic R's and stuff. You know, kind of an old timeier sound. Kind of channeled what's his name? It's not Walter, is it? I think it's Walton Goggins. Kind of channeled that guy for that particular role, and it was a ton of fun. So the first episode of that is free. The next episode is coming out tomorrow. It's only going to be $2.99, and there's going to be 2 more episodes after that. So go check that out here. Here is a link in the chat. All right. So, lastly, don't forget about LitRPGCon. Go to litrpgcon.com. We are Soundbooth Theater is hosting the very first convention dedicated to the LitRPG genre. Everyone in the Soundbooth Theater crew is going to be there, and not only that, pretty much every big author in the genre is going to be there as well, including Dakota Kraut, James Hunter, Matt Dinneman, of course, Alaron Kong, Michael Chatfield, Benjamin Keary. Just go to litrpgcon.com to see the massive list of people that are going to be there, and you'll be able to play games with a lot of them. We have a lot of gaming happening during the afternoon, and entertainment at night. Also panels in the morning. It's going to be a really Walton Goggins, Rooster Jazz got me. It's going to be a great time. It's at the Grand Hyatt, July 18th through the 20th in Denver, Colorado. So if you haven't yet picked up tickets, you can go get them at litrpgcon.com right now. And you can meet us there and have some fun. Oh, hold on. So, all right, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of spoilery stuff here. So we just finished the design for the Dungeon Crawler Carl Audio Immersion Tunnel original soundtrack double LP. So about 85% of the music that's in the Dungeon Crawler Carl Audio Immersion Tunnel is featured on this double LP. That's, I believe, 80 minutes of music, and still it's not all of it. I'm kind of proud of that fact. Let's see here. But yeah, I want to show you what it's going to look like. We actually got Dave Law to do the cover for us, and we got the Dungeon Crawler Carl community to give us some feedback on it. What we wanted to do was make a parody of the Dookie album by Green Day. But we wanted it Dungeon Crawler Carlified. So we got a lot of feedback from the community about what should be featured on it. and Dave Law did such an incredible job with it. So I'm gonna give you a little preview real quick. Let's see. Edit screen name? No. How do I? Let's stop screen there. Present this time. Share screen. Here it is. So yeah, here it is. Really proud of this. Dave Law did the illustration. Susan Shorter, our art director, actually did the design. And I think it's incredible. That's it. That's it. That's all you guys get. So here we are. Let's share screen window. Oh, what happened? Here it is. And back to this format. All right, cool. And that is all I'm doing for my little promo from the beginning here. Let's get started on Chapter 11 of Chrysalis, Volume 6. Now, Anthony, in the last chapter or two, defeated a big old Spider Queen type monster, and now he's up to level, I think that brought him up to level 76, and then he killed some more of these demon things that sounded really gross. They're avarice demons. So that killing a bunch of those brought him all the way up to level 80, and now he's ready to rank up into whatever is the next rank of his species, I guess. So yeah, thanks, Rooster Jazz. I'm really stoked to get this out to people. What's up, False Positron? Yeah, here goes. Chapter 11. Ugh. Planning. This one huge pile of food. There's no way I can fit it all in. This one huge pile of food. There's no way I can fit it all in. This one huge pile of food. There's no way I can fit it all in. Fit it all in. Fit it all in. I think that's the way I should say it. This one huge pile of food. There's no way I can fit it all in. Jesus. Fucking. Alright. Let me try again. This one huge pile of food. There's no way I can fit it all in. I kind of want to call my pets over and have them indulge, but I'd feel bad about it since the colony has gathered all of this for me. I guess I'll dive in, and if there's any left when I'm done, I'll make sure the others get their fair share. Alright, gang, get some rest, but keep an eye out. I'll make sure you get your food later, okay? I'll make sure you get your food later, okay? I'll make sure you get your food later, okay? I'll make sure you get your food later, okay? Fuck me. I'm warming up, guys, alright? Quit making fun of me. I can feel it from the comment section. Alright, gang, get some rest, but keep an eye out. I'll make sure you get your food later, okay? Yes! Invidious says, but I can see his eye blazing with green light as he eyes my food. Yes, master, Kryna says, happy to attach herself once more to my carapace, and allows her shape to blob. Tiny growls, saliva pouring from his mouth as he openly gnashes his teeth as if eating already. Ah, that's gross, Tiny. Just Move over there. We ate a bunch of demons in the tunnels not that long ago. Mutate or something. With my badgering, he finally turns his back on the feast and sulks in the corner. 5 minutes later, he's asleep. I'm all yours, Grannin. What's the first thing you want to discuss? I'm all yours, Grannin. What's the first thing you want to discuss? I sigh as I start to tuck into the mount of food. I sigh as I start to tuck into the mountain of food.
The Rescindic principle, obviously.
What the heck is... What the heck was that? The cash-in, Tarina says. It's going to be one of the most important decisions of your evolution.
If not the most important. If not the most important.
Grannin grunts.
It's a good idea that we discuss your options, since there are likely to be a few built into the choices you get when you evolve. If you have a clear picture of what you want, then it'll be easier to eliminate some options and focus in on the ones you prefer.
What's the best choice? Is there a reason I shouldn't just reset everything and get a totally awesome new body? What's the best choice? Is there a reason I shouldn't just reset everything and get a totally awesome new body? Just get it all over and done with? What's the best choice? Is there a reason I shouldn't just reset everything and get a totally awesome new body? I don't like any of this. What's the best choice? Is there a reason I shouldn't just reset everything and go... What's the best choice? Is there a reason I shouldn't just reset everything and get a totally awesome new body? Just get it all over... Just get it all... Just get it all... Just get it all... Get it all... Just get it all over it... Get it all over and done with? Just get it all over and done with? Just get it all over and done with? Just get it all over and just get it all over and done with? Just get it all over and done with? Get it all over and done with? Just get it all over and done with? Just get it all over and done with? Just get it all over... Just get it all over and done with? There we go. Grannin's eyes go wide, and I can tell he wants to facepalm, but is resisting by sheer force of will. Corin doesn't quite succeed and smacks himself in the face at my apparent idiocy. What? What's the problem? So my mutations get set back to 0, but if I sit here in the colony and they pump me full of biomass, I'll be able to get them all back to a respectable level in a couple of days. So my mutations get set back to 0, but if I sit here in the colony and they pump me full of biomass, I'll be able to get them all back to a respectable level in a couple of days. I'll be way more powerful, won't I? Allow me, Tarina says, mostly to the others, and Grannin waves her forward. Anthony, there are a few reasons why you don't want to do that. Although you can, the option will be available to you. One reason is that the further you go down the tiers of evolution, the better reset options you will find. I don't doubt there will be many options available only to second and possibly a few from third stratum monsters when you evolve this time. The next time you evolve, you will see a few that may normally be seen on the fourth stratum. Constantly resetting your body parts is hugely inefficient, and the more you evolve, the worse it gets. For Tier 6, it's going to cost you 140 biomass to improve each body part from plus 25 to plus 30. But if you start your whole body from scratch, it's going to cost 456 per body part. 65. Oh, I flinch. Ouch. That's a whole lot of biomass. Ouch. That's a whole lot of Ouch. Ouch. That's a whole lot of biomass. 465. For each mutatable For each mutable part of my body. That's insane. I'd have to eat through half a stratum to amass that. And at Tier 6, it'd have to be the third stratum at that. Although the colony can pour resources into me, the thought of that much biomass going towards bumping up my mutations when it could instead be spent on the hatchlings or other members of the colony. Let's say you did that. Tarina continues, and piled up the thousands of biomass necessary to evolve into Tier 7 with all mutations at plus 30. What do you do then? Cash it all in again? Because there will be better options available at Tier 7 and Tier 8 and so on. A better, more efficient strategy is to cycle critical body parts and reset them every few evolutions if you get that far. Think of everything you consider to be the most important parts of your body and divide them into 3 groups. Cash in 1 set now, 1 set next evolution, and 1 set the evolution after that. Then repeat the process. At least, that's one way you could manage it. I keep eating as I think over what she's saying. The sheer biomass cost of resetting my entire body has pretty much pushed me away from the idea. I mean, I could do it, but to get that much food into me would mean I'd probably still be trying to get those points even after I reached level 160. I could do it, but to get that much food into me would mean I'd probably still be trying to get those points even after I reached level 160. You said there were other reasons? The other main reason is what we could describe as monster dysmorphia, which is to say that not all body parts resonate well with each other. Get it all over and done with. Get it all over and done with.
It's complicated as hell, and has mainly to do with the higher concentrations of mana needed to... It's complicated as hell, and has mainly to do with the higher concentrations of mana needed to fuel the... It's complicated as hell, and has mainly to... Fuck me. It's complicated as hell, and has mainly to do with the higher concentrations of mana needed to fuel these more complex structures.
Granin breaks in, scratching his head.
In the first stratum, a monster's body is more or less straightforward, and the way mana is used to form them is simple and uncomplicated. In the first stratum, a monster's body is more or less straightforward, and the way mana is used to fuck.
Yesterday I kind of hurt my voice a little bit doing this guy's voice because I guess I wasn't hydrated enough, so let me fix that now.
In the first stratum, a monster's body is more or less straightforward, and the way mana is used to form them is simple and uncomplicated. When you get to the third and below, things start to get weird.
Weird?
Weird.
Oh, I like that one. I want to keep it.
Without going into too much detail, because I think you'd find it incredibly boring, complex mana structures don't always resonate well with each other. In extreme cases, a monster with two body parts that don't cooperate can literally be torn apart by the conflux of mana.
Holy moly!
Which is why taking it slow and being careful is a sensible idea. The three of us can advise you about the combinations we know don't work, and the evolution system itself will confirm the safety of the reset, but only for current parts of your body.
You mean the system will check if the reset parts will work with my body now, but not the other parts that I reset? What kind of hack job is that? Granin just laughs.
If you can talk to the system itself, then you can complain about it then. Otherwise, it's better to think about which parts of your body you want to cash in on this evolution. Keep eating, and we'll work it out.
Over and done with. Chapter 12. Final Mutations, Part 1. As I stuff my face, Granin and I discuss my various body parts and what might qualify as a good option for a reset in my next evolution. I remain a little cagey about a few things, such as the existence of the vestibule, but I try to be as honest as I can. A few things get ruled out pretty fast. No need to do anything fancy with the pheromone glands at this point, for example. I'm not even sure what sort of new functionality I would gain for my pheromone gland. Demon pheromones? Pheromones made from flames? Yeah. In this way, we eliminate candidates and soon arrive at a shortlist. Carapace, obviously. Mandibles, acid gland, legs, regeneration gland, eyes. All the big-ticket items. Would be great to do my brain, but it's not even mutable at this point, so it can't be reset. I wonder if he means mutable or if he means mutatable. I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I've just run into it twice, that's all. The carapace is there for very clear reasons. I was promised a reset of pure diamond, and by Gandalf, I'm going to get it. If an option appears to reforge my mandibles into some awesome demon chitin, something of the sort. If an option appears to reforge my mandibles into some awesome demon chitin, something of the sort. I think something's gonna have to be it. Something of the sort. I think something would probably be at the end of a sentence. If an option appears to reforge my mandibles into some awesome demon chitin, something of the sort, then it would surely be a significant boost to the strength of my bite, which is always handy. My legs are an obvious weak point, and although the diamond carapace does offer some thin... I'm just not with it today. My legs are an obvious weak point, and although the diamond carapace does offer some thin protection... My legs are an obvious weak point, and although the diamond carapace does offer some thin protection, changing their base properties to something more durable would help to keep me from being legless quite as often. The regeneration gland is a literal lifesaver, and a significant upgrade there would be incredible. My vision speaks for itself. Better eyes. Son of a bitch.
My vision speaks for itself. Better eyes means better life. Being able to see stuff coming is a useful trait to have, and with the reset, who knows what sort of crazy options I might see. I personally feel like there's a strong chance that the vestibule will come up as an option to be reset in the evolution choices, given that my current species includes the term juvenile. It would make sense that the natural progression would be a mature colony paragon of some variety, and the key organ of this species is the vestibule. Exactly what sort of option would be provided to reforge the vestibule itself, I've no idea. Exactly what sort of option would be provided to reforge the vestibule itself, I've no idea, but I think it will be powerful. There is the likelihood that such an upgrade would have adverse side effects. There is the likelihood that such an upgrade would have adverse side effects, such as giving the colony an even larger window to sneak their will into my mind, but there's a good chance that the trade-off will be worth it.
You might want to rethink your idea of picking carapace on this evolution,
Grannon tells me. What? My carapace is life-saving, incredibly... Ooh, what? My carapace is a life-saving, incredibly shiny part of my body. What could possibly be more important than that? Grannon holds up both his hands.
Whoa there. Whoa there. It's beautiful and amazing, we get all that. Whoa there. It's beautiful and amazing, we all get that. Just take a second to hear me out.
He waits until I settle back down and get to shoveling biomass into my face before he continues.
I agree that your carapace is important.
More fluids. It's Nick Lovin in Instagram says Soundbooth is awesome. Thank you. So is I bet you mean Soundbooth Theater, but Soundbooth itself is also awesome. Soundbooth.app, don't forget.
I agree that your carapace is important. It's your foremost defensive tool, after all. But there are two good reasons that you should hold off during this evolution. Firstly, the options you may get at this stage of evolution are inferior to what you'll get next time. In my opinion, your carapace and plating, upgraded to plus 30, could be sufficient to protect you through the third stratum.
Starting over. I need that extra lubrication here to make the gravel sound better. And to not put so much stress on my voice.
I agree that your carapace is important. It's your foremost defensive tool, after all. But there are two good reasons that you should hold off during this evolution. Firstly, the options you may get at this stage of evolution are inferior to what you'll get next time. In my opinion, your carapace and plating, upgraded to plus 30, could be sufficient to protect you through the third stratum. If you evolve before you attack the fourth, you'll be able to upgrade to a much better base material. If you evolve before you attack the fourth, you'll be able to upgrade to a much better base material.
There we go.
Something about the tone of his thought suggests he's aware of something he hasn't said. Do you happen to know what I might get if I hold off? Do you happen to know what I might get if I hold off? I ask pointedly.
There are a few different diamond-flavored materials you could see, but all of them are good. Living diamond. There are a few different diamond-flavored materials you could see, but all of them are good. Living diamond, void diamond, liquid diamond, just to name a few. All are seen mostly on the 4th stratum, but there's a chance they'll show up when you evolve to Tier 7.
All of those sound so awesome! Liquid diamond! How does that even work? All right, I say, trying to hide my excitement and totally failing. What's about the other reason?
Your inner carapace plating. I rather love this edition and think it's done more than you realize to keep you alive up to this point, but it can do more. The synergy between the carapace and plating isn't what it could be. I'm suggesting that when you reset your carapace, you reset the plating at the same time. This will let you pick options that harmonize and allow you to reconfigure your mutations to line up perfectly. This will let you pick options that harmonize and allow you to reconfigure your mutations to line up perfectly, giving you the best possible outcome. Does that sound reasonable?
He does make a good case. All right, I'm convinced, and I'm also full. All right, I'm convinced, and I'm also full. Step back a second for me, would you? All right, I'm convinced. All right, I'm convinced, and I'm also full. Step back a second for me, would you? The Golgari shaper hurriedly steps out of the way, and I back up a bit, my gaster having swollen to absurd proportions after cramming both of my stomachs full of biomass. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna chuck. Is this what a replete feels like?
What is a replete? Replete.
Replete.
Abundantly supplied or filled, either with something material or immaterial. It can also describe a person as being fully fed or fat. Okay. I don't know what that means then. Is this what a replete feels like?
Is this what a replete feels like? I used to wonder what it was like to be one of those ants who just hung around inside a nest and allowed other ants. I used to wonder what it was like. I used to wonder what it was like. I used to wonder what it was like to be one of those ants who just hung around inside a nest and allowed other ants to fill up their social stomachs with food to the point they couldn't move. Living food storage units. With all this biomass, I should have enough to at least make a serious dent in the remainder of the evolutions I need to make. Let me check what's going on in here. According to the menu, I have 7 body parts still in need of mutation, some of them more than one. Eyes, pheromone gland, neural network, my 3 new acid additions, and the gravity mana gland. I think it makes sense to start with the eyes and take... I think it makes sense to start with the eyes and take them from +20 to +25. Let's take a squiz at the options. I think I'm going to focus on my mutations for the moment. If possible, can I get some... If possible, can I get some privacy for this? If possible, can I get some privacy for this? I think I'm going to focus on my mutations for the moment. If possible, can I get some privacy for this?
It's hard to tell, but I think Granin quirks an eyebrow.
You sure you don't want any advice on this?
No, I can handle this bit. I'll be sure to speak with you again before I no, I can handle this bit. I'll be sure to speak to you again before I evolve, don't worry. Crap. He shrugs.
All right then, have it your way.
After a brief argument with Tarina, in which she gives a massive case of stink eye, he leads the... After a brief argument with Tarina, in which she gives me a massive... After a brief argument with Tarina, in which she gives me a massive case of stink eye, he leads the triad out of the chamber. All right, team, let's assume formation C. I instruct my pets. In an instant, Chrysalis has leapt into action, blanketing... In an instant, Chrysalis has leapt into action, blanketing the chamber in complete darkness using her magic wall... In an instant, Chrysalis has leapt into action, blanketing the chamber in complete darkness using her magic whilst also expanding her body to cover my frame in a sphere of inky black shadow flesh. Nvidia uses his shield magic to erect opaque barriers before every doorway, blocking line of sight as well as physical entry into the chamber, whilst Tiny takes up a vigilant guard position halfway between the entrances and... Nvidia uses his shield magic to erect opaque barriers before every doorway, blocking line of sight as well as physical entry into the chamber, whilst Tiny takes up a vigilant guard position halfway between the entrances and my body. Like this, there's no chance anyone will see me when I mutate. Now I can focus on the menus. Let's do this! Chapter 13. Final Mutations, Part 2. With my privacy secured, it's time to dive once more into the depths of the menu lists and bring back only the finest mutations. It's time to begin where it all began, my eyeballs. Seems like a lifetime ago that I first mutated my eyes in order to improve my then terrible vision. Even now, I'm not satisfied with my eyes, but then, my memory of what it was like to view the world as a human is more than a little fuzzy. I've been in an ant form for months now, and already I've been in 5 different ant bodies. It's hard to remember exactly what my eyesight was like. It's hard to remember exactly what my eyesight was like as a hatchling at this point, let alone remembering what it was like in my previous life. I might have been a human for 15 years, but recency bias is real. Alright then, my vision is currently sitting at plus 20. The heightened perimeter eyes have served me well during the siege. The heightened perimeter eyes have served me well during the siege. The improved clarity is a massive boon, helping me make the best of my reflexes. What the fuck? The improved clarity is a massive boon, helping me make the best of my reflexes by seeing the threats coming at me from all directions. In hindsight, my focus has really been to try to... In hindsight, my focus has really been to try and take all the best parts of compound eyes, multi-directional vision, and combine it with the benefits of a more humanish eye setup. The end result is that I still have The end result is I still have compound eyes, but each one of the thousands of tiny lenses that make up my eyeballs is almost as good as those within a normal eye. It's pretty crazy to think about.
That level of precision and complexity would be completely impossible.
Fuck me.
That level of precision and complexity would be completely impossible for a normal creature on Earth, yet here I am on Pangea, an ant with supervision. And there's no need to stop now. I want sharper eyesight, better motion tracking, in all directions at the same time! The only way to achieve something like that is to just keep piling on the upgrades, one by one. The list of mutations in the menu is as overwhelming as ever. The list of mutations in the menu is as overwhelming as ever, and the crazy options overflow. X-ray vision, firing heat blasts. X-ray vision, firing heat blasts from the eyes. Why, though? Time vision? See things after they happened? Isn't that just normal vision? Or is this like a peering into the past kind of thing? Seems far less useful than the future vision I get from my antennae. Weird. No, why? Damn it. I can't even begin to imagine the sort of things that would pop up in here if I cashed in my eye mutations when I evolve. Laser eyes? Curse eyes? Goodness knows. Goodness knows. I trawl through the seemingly endless list until I find the sorts of things I'm after. Upgrades that continue to track in the direction my mutations are already going. Plenty of stuff to expand the range of the vision. Another upgrade like the one I chose earlier, which creates patches of sharper focus. Eventually, I find something for a generic focal enhancement. Eventually, I find something for a generic focal enhancement. With this, my eye shall become the sharpened perimeter eyes plus 25. Lock it in! What's next on my list? The pheromone gland! The old faithful. Who would have thought that the simple mutation of the language gland would have such a far-reaching impact? Come to think of it, packing the capacity for language into one mutation is a little generous of the system, isn't it? It's not the sort of thing that the great bushy-bearded one is known for, the stingy bugger. I wonder if this became sort of standard mutation for more intelligent bugs down in the depths. It doesn't teach language, not really. It just expands the range of sense the pheromone gland can produce to have sufficient gradient that language can be expressed. It doesn't teach language, not really. It just expands the range of sense the pheromone gland can produce to have sufficient gradient that language can be expressed. It does increase it a lot, though. The pheromone gland went from danger, food, warm, cold to hello, guest, please be welcome, care for some tea, all in one mutation. I'm not going to look at gift mutation in the pheromones. Or whatever. What do I want here? To be honest, most of the upgrades seem like a waste to me. There are options that do all sorts of things, turning pheromones into weapons, as a sleep poison, even a choice that helps create sensory illusions in organisms that smell them, basically hallucinogen scent. But since I use them strictly for communication purposes, most of these options are bunk. I'll just take one that makes my pheromones travel farther so I can yell harder. My last two mutations were both about making my pheromones more persuasive, which, in hindsight, is a bit... My last two mutations were both about making my pheromones more persuasive, which, in hindsight, is a bit of a waste. I don't need to be persuading the colony. They don't need any help doing what I ask them. So my convincing pheromone gland plus 20 will become the loud convincing pheromone gland plus 25. Next! I've got the 3 acid glands to deal with and the gravity mana gland. I think I'll handle the gravity gland. For every single mutation I've selected for my gravity mana gland, I've gone down the same path, which is to expand the capacity. This is for a few reasons, namely that the gravity bomb takes a huge chunk of mana to cast. I think that's not an appropriate comma. This is for a few reasons, namely that the gravity bomb takes a huge chunk of mana to cast, and the better I get at condensing mana, the more mana I need to fuel the spell. Except I want to take something different this time and borrow a leaf from, of all the beings, Tiny. His lightning glands have a great little mutation that condenses the mana inside the gland. It doesn't condense it much compared to doing the work manually, but it gets the process started. It also has the benefit of making every spell I weave with mana straight out of the gland a little... It also has the benefit of making every spell I weave with mana straight out of the gland a little bit stronger without me having to do any heavy lifting. The unending gravity mana gland plus 20 will now become the compressing unending gravity mana gland plus 25. 3 upgrades down and a cool 345... 3 upgrades down and a cool 345 biomass gone, just like that. The only body parts I have left are the neural network and 3 new additions to the business district, not all of which are sitting at plus 20 yet. This part is going to be expensive. I hope I have enough to afford it, because I really don't want to have to... I hope I have enough to afford it, because I really don't want to have to eat any more right now. I hope I have enough to afford it, because I really don't want to have to eat any more right now. I hope I have enough to afford it, because I really don't want to have to eat any more right now. Firstly, I'm going to look at the neural network. Who would have thought that starting to mutate my nervous system would have such a Who would have thought that starting to mutate my nervous system would have such a beneficial effect in the long run? Fuck me. Who would have thought that starting to mutate my nervous system would have such a beneficial effect in the long run? Combined with my carapace and antennae, this nervous system has been what kept me alive long enough to reach this level. Having impossibly fast reflexes is always a win, no matter what. The question is, what do I want to mutate into the network now? Trawling through the list, there are upgrades to help me make it even faster, but at this point, I'm not sure that's even necessary. I'm already reacting to the future, having my nerves and signals 0.00000001 of a second faster than... I'm already reacting to the future, having my nerves and I'm already reacting to the future, having my nerves and... Fuck me. I'm already reacting to the future, having my nerves send signals 0.00000001 of a second faster doesn't seem necessary. Then what do I want my nerves to do? They do the job that nerves do extremely well already. They send signals, they send signals and they do it really, really fast. What else can I possibly want here? Poring through the list and weighing the options, I come across one that I like. This mutation creates new... Fuck. This mutation creates nerve bundles at certain points in the body that help manage coordination better. It's like how an octopus has a separate set of nerves for each tentacle, helping to coordinate the movement of each limb so they can work together. If I'm not wrong, this may even synergize with my existing mutations, since the hyper-fast signals will be transmitted to these new bundles. Who could make my... If I'm not wrong, this may even synergize with my existing mutations, since the hyper-fast signals will be transmitted to these new bundles. Who could make my legs move without my main brain even having to be contacted? Perfect! The Instant Transmission Subneural Network plus 20 shall become the Coordinating Instant Transmission Subneural Network plus 25. Boom! Now, it's nozzle time. I've previously upgraded it to increase the range of my acid shot and introduced a scattershot mode. I'm pretty happy with both upgrades as is, to be honest. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery. Sniper or artillery. Hey, thanks, Cypherion. Glad you're
Glad you're here to experience the making. Excuse me.
I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery like some of the scouts are, and the scatter shots does... Fuck me. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery. Fuck me. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery. Fucking hell. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery artillery. Fucking hell. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery like some of the scouts are. Or sniper or artillery. I'm just going to have to slow down right there. I don't know why I won't do that. I don't need to have absurd range with my acid. I'm not trying to turn myself into a sniper or artillery like some of the scouts are, and the scatter shot does a good job spreading the acid over an area when I'm shooting at max range. If I upgraded that mutation more, the acid shot would eventually become more like a shotgun, blasting over an area up close, which I don't think I need. I'm in the unusual place of looking for a new upgrade. What has the menu got for me? Lots. It has lots. Just like everything else, there's a ton of options that seem either excessive, weird, or rather imaginative. There's the usual list of properties that the nozzle could add to the acid, including elemental damage, somehow. There's an ignition option as well, which I suppose would be handy if I turned my acid flammable. Hang on. I could literally shoot fire out of my backside. Holy moly! It's a bit more extreme than what I'm looking for, though. As usual, I'm more interested in mutations that move along the lines of what the organ was intended to do in the first place. I wonder if there's something I can purchase that will help aim. Sifting through the list, I come across just what I'm looking for. It's an odd little mutation that adds a bundle of nerves to the nozzle that assist in making unconscious aiming corrections. Combined with my rapidly climbing accuracy skill, this mutation could help me... hit the target first time every time. Just what the doctor ordered. So, the Forceful Scattershot Acid Nozzle plus 20 will become the Guided Forceful Scattershot Acid Nozzle plus 25. That's a mouthful. I guess that's what happens when you mash 3 different mutations into one organ. I guess that's what happens when you mash 3 different mutations onto one organ. Now the acid concentration gland. I really like this gland. It was cheap to buy, and its sole function is to be the acid gland's hype man. It makes the acid do whatever it's already doing, but better, and I added the weakening property to try and drain my enemies during long fights. It's a solid combo I'm going to stick with by enhancing the weakening property this time around. It's simple to find the mutation I want, and with this, the Thickened Weakening Acid Concentration Gland plus 20 becomes the Thickened Draining Acid Concentration Gland plus 25. Nice. One to go! 690 biomass down the drain. Holy smokes, this is expensive. Checking my biomass total, I think I'm just going to have enough to squeak all of the necessary mutations in. Although the last one is going to be the priciest. The Rapid Fatiguing Acid Stimulation Gland of plus 10. I need to upgrade this dude 3 more times. Better get to it. Activating the menu, I upgrade the gland to plus 15. Activating the menu, I upgrade the gland to the +15 mark and choose to consolidate the existing mutation. Did I say... Damn it. Activating the menu, I upgrade the gland to the +15 mark and choose to consolidate the... Activating the menu, I upgrade the gland to the +15 mark and choose to consolidate the existing mutation. The stimulation gland works to increase the production of acid, which is great. The mutation I chose lets the organ drain stamina in order to replenish the acid faster, which works well with my vestibule since my stamina is topped up by that organ. For the +20 and +25 upgrades, I think... that's a typo. That's got to be I. For the +20 and +25 upgrades, I kind of want to go in a different direction. See what else the menu has to offer. There's plenty to choose from, as usual. Most are around different ways to increase the regenerative speed Most are around different ways to increase the regenerative speed of the acid, but others are a little more creative with their interpretation of what stimulate means when it comes to the acid gland. Stimulate it to do what? Make more acid? Vaporize the acid? Bring about change in the acid? Add properties to the acid? It's a complex system I've got. It's a complex system I've got going on back there, and only the finest produce is allowed to emerge from it. So I need to pick well. In the end, I select something that works with what I have. This mutation drains stamina, but rather than increase the acid's production rate, it thickens it, making it more potent. This obviously synergizes on multiple levels with my existing setup. By the time this is done, my acid is going to be crazy. At +25, I choose another mutation to enforce my new... At +25, I choose another mutation to enforce my new selection, and with that, I'm finally done! The rapid, fatiguing acid stimulation gland +10 has become the exhausting, thickening acid stimulation gland +25. Woo!
Do you wish to confirm these selections? This will cost 960 biomass.
Holy Mick biomass, that's a lot! Do I have enough? I do! By 2. Cool. Confirm it all, Gandalf. Let's get this show on the road. Any second now. Here it comes.
Damn it. I choked before I could get it out. It's so bad! My nerves are on fire! Damn it! Cypherion says, I'm so glad to be here. I love your work with DCC and Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon. Are there any of your efforts aside from these you're particularly proud of? Yes. The Stars Have Eyes on soundbooth.app. Now, you said that you've listened to Kaiju, so I'm sure you've already picked up the app, so thank you. But The Stars Have Eyes is one of my favorite productions we've ever done. I don't think it gets enough attention. It's by Neven Ilyev, who did Everybody Loves Large Chests, but it's basically a full 180 from what Everybody Loves Large Chests is. It's wholesome, it's still funny, and it still involves a sociopathic monster, but the sociopathic monster is trying to become more human, and there's also, more human characters. It's a sci-fi, and it's a sci-fi eldritch horror romantic comedy. Basically, what if Cthulhu was your girlfriend? That's the concept. But it's not gross and messed up. It's really not demented at all. It's really just wholesome wholesome fun. And to be honest, I still listen to the last couple episodes of that cinematic audio sometimes, and they still make me tear up. It's like it's one of my most proud productions because of how emotionally effective the end of the series is. So it does get weird. I love Everybody Loves Large Chests, don't get me wrong, but I think that it's not as succinct and it's just not as valuable an experience, in my opinion. I think Stars Have Eyes is it's just more heartwarming and human and beautiful. So really, I highly recommend it. I'll go ahead and drop a link.
Chapter 14. The core of the matter. When the itch finally fades, I find myself on my back, my legs splayed in all directions and pinned down by the barbed tentacles of Chrysalis.
Oh, and by the way, the main character's voice is what I use for this series. So that's basically where I was able to practice it at first. Oh, Antonio Leite. Antonio likes it better than DCC. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I agree. It's amazing. Thank you so much for the validation there. One of the things I really love about it is the music. And you know what I'd love? I'd love to see more people talk about the music and identify the music. One second. We do have a Reddit post as well. So we have a Reddit, a subreddit for Soundbooth, r/Soundbooth. So yeah, it would really be awesome to get more people in there to discuss things. I want more discussions about our productions. I want people to talk about what they like, what they don't like, to theorize, ask questions, make guesses. And there is a Stars Have Eyes post already in there. I'd love to see people give their guesses as to what inspired all the music. Here's the specific Stars Have Eyes post. Put that in the chat as well. I would consider Cameo way late in my career.
Chrysalis? What happened? You were flailing too much, Master. I thought it better to hold you down than have you slip out of my containment. That would be a disaster that would increase my risk of being seen by at least 300%. That cannot be allowed. You did the right thing, Chrysalis. Well done. Any chance you can let me up now? Oh, yes. Somewhat reluctantly, the limbs retract back into the orb of shadow flesh that still conceals me, and I roll onto my feet. It was bad this time. Real bad. Doing so many high-level mutations at the same time. It's always bad, but a few of the organs made it worse. The subneural network is always brutal. The eyes are a particular sore point for me, and doing 3 separate organs inside the business district just made that whole scenario back there into a nightmare. It's done now, though, Anthony. Just forget about it and move on to the next job. Getting close to evolution time. All right then, everyone, job's done. Let's get moving to the next one.
Now, Aaron didn't do that much music in Stars Have Eyes. I think mainly the theme. Not much else, but it was mainly Ahmed Mahmoud for the Stars Have Eyes who did most of the music. I play a little bit. I play some bass on this and that. But also Justin does some amazing work on the very last episode, and Annie does also very, very amazing work at the end of episode 14.
My pets file in behind me as I stumble out of the chamber and into the tunnels, where I find Grannon and the others waiting. My body feels a little awkward, as it always does after a heavy dose of mutation. I think the neural changes are affecting me the most.
All done?
Grannon asks. Fully mutated. Time to sort out the core. His eyes brighten at the mention of the core.
I heard you had an interesting specimen you'd reserved around here somewhere. I'd love to take a look at it.
As long as you're quick. I need to absorb that thing, and I don't particularly feel like building up the suspense. As a group, we file along the tunnels, with a few colony members tagging along to keep me... As a group, we file along the tunnels, with a few colony members tagging along to keep track of me. As a group, we file along the tunnels, with a few colony members tagging along to keep track of me for the council. Seems like they want to know where I'm up to with the process of evolving in real time. I guess it's a big deal, not only for me, but for the family as a whole. Not to worry, Colony, I won't let you down. After a quick journey, we arrive in a chamber not far from the Core Shaper's work area. After a quick journey, we arrive in a chamber not far from the Core Shaper's work area, and after discussing some things with a nearby ant, we settle in. A few minutes later, Bella and Ellie arrive with a selection of cores, including one enormous sample gripped in Bella's mandibles. Here you go, eldest. This should be enough to max you out, and here's Garralosh's core, just as you asked. You haven't fiddled with it, have you? The two of them look shocked. Of course not. We've studied it extensively, but we followed your instructions and made no alterations to the core itself, even though we really wanted to. Shut up, Bella! Whoops. As long as you didn't tamper with it, it's fine. Make sure you check with Chrysalis. She has some new cores for you to play with. It wouldn't actually matter if they did. As far as absorbing a core goes, you can mess with it as much as you want before absorbing it. The energy contained within is the same, but for whatever reason... As far as absorbing a core goes, you can mess with it as much as you want before absorbing it. The energy contained within it is the same. As far as absorbing a core goes, you can mess with it as much as you want before absorbing it. The energy contained within is the same. But for whatever reason... Joe Mulligan.
Love the large music theme towards the end. You talking about at the end credits or the thing that Annie sings?
As far as absorbing a core goes, you can mess with it as much as you want before absorbing it. The energy contained within is the same. But for whatever reason, I didn't want them playing with Garralosh's core. It just didn't feel right.
Is this it?
Grannon brightens up when he sees the chunky core.
Is this it? Can I take a look? Can I take a look?
Towards last chapter. So end of episode 14 is what I imagine you mean.
He waits for me to give him permission before stepping over and gently lifting the core out of Bella's grip. What follows is a brief but vigorous discussion between the three Golgari as they take turns analysing the core and giving their thoughts. Corin and Tarina have already had a look at it before. But it's clear how much they value Granin's insight by how attentively they listen when he speaks. The guy's an authority on monsters, after all. You guys done? I break in. I've got evolving to do over here.
Oh, right, certainly.
Granin starts at my words, then places the core on the ground in front of me and steps back.
It's not often I get to see the core of a monster one of our sister cults deemed worthy of mentorship. She was a powerful beast, although with a lot of wasted potential. I still find it staggering she was able to move on the surface at this level of strength. The effort involved for the Carmado must have been exhausting.
I don't have that much sympathy, to be honest, I tell him dryly, as I look down on all that remains of the reincarnated human. You were one crazy monster, Garralosh. Sorry you had to end this way. I start off with the normal cores, reinforcing my own until I hit the limit. Last time, I took in a special core as well as a rare core beyond this point, something I don't care to repeat. Gandalf himself told me that such a thing normally results in death, and I'm not one to tempt fate twice. Okay then, here we go.
Compatible rare core detected. Would you like to reinforce your core or reconstitute the monster?
Reinforce me. Just as every time before, the core begins to dissolve into pure energy that twists through the air and into my body, suffusing the hard gem in the centre of my being and growing it. The pain is terrible, as always, the enlarged core pushing up against my insides in ways it was never meant to. Garralosh's core is huge, much larger than the rare core I absorbed last time. If I had to hazard a guess, if it were even a tiny bit larger, I would no longer qualify as a rare core, instead being pushed to whatever stage comes after that. It takes several minutes for the process to complete, and by the end, I'm feeling as if I had eaten another meal the size of the last one. I'm bloated, stuffed, gassy, and twinges of pain fire through me every time I try to move. Ugh, I hate this. Chrysalis wraps herself around my carapace and pats me on the back with one tentacle, which does help somewhat. Tiny just points and laughs at me. Damn ape. You'll get yours when you evolve again, just you wait. With my core as large as it's going to get at my current evolution, my max MP now sits at a rather impressive 520. This is a heck of a lot more evolutionary energy than I've ever had to work with before. A nervousness starts to bubble within me as I get ready to take the final step. All right then, time to evolve. Grannon smiles wide. What? I ask him.
Me? I just love this stuff. Powerful monsters and evolution have literally been my life's work. Give me a break if I get excited.
Doesn't hurt that I'm also a candidate for an ancient that you identified either, does it? Doesn't hurt that I'm also a candidate for an ancient that you identified either, does it? His smile widens.
I have to admit that it does add a certain zest. Where are you going to do this? Here?
No. They want me back in the other chamber where monsters won't spawn. Which means I have to walk back. Yay. Which means I have to walk back. Oh man, I fucking love this book, guys. It's so silly. It's so silly and fun. Where are we at? Chapter 15. What time is it? 1:23. I'm a little behind. I'm hoping to get another 10 chapters in today. So let's see if we can do it. Anyone new here? Anyone just arriving? Don't forget LitRPGCon.com. That's July 18th through 20th, the very first LitRPG convention hosted by Soundbooth Theater. You go to LitRPGCon.com and you'll find tickets. You will find where it's at, the Grand Hyatt in Denver, Colorado. However, there are no more rooms available in that hotel. It is sold out at this point for that weekend. Excuse me. There's plenty of other hotels right around there if you still want to go. If you're a Denver local, then you got no excuse. You should come anyway. Excuse me. Only $100 a ticket, and every single big LitRPG author out there is pretty much going to be there. I think we were gonna have Shirtaloon come. He was going to come all the way from Australia, but unfortunately, he won't be available. He had some health issues that put him behind a bit, and he's decided to cancel. But Rhino Z, another Aussie, and the author of the book that I'm now narrating, is going to be there as well. So come hang out with us, July 18th through 20th, LitRPG Con. That's litrpgcon.com, and get your tickets now, or share it with other people who you know are going to enjoy it. Chapter 15, Evolution, Part 1. Despite the pain and discomfort of returning to where I force-fed myself in order to afford those mutations, I'm super excited. Each step is taking me closer to my next form. A new and more powerful me is on the horizon. Sadly, almost all of that enthusiasm drains out of me when I see what is waiting for me. Sadly, almost all of that enthusiasm drains out of me when I see what is waiting for me outside the chamber. Filled with ire, I stalk up to the morons. Damn it, Bane! What the heck are you doing here? I think this is supposed to be in thought. The priest and his acolytes are all dressed in their robes with the antennae sewn to the top, their hands in the air as if summoning the great sky god. At my yell, they all flinch and bow deeply towards me. It's Bane who first replies, speaking to me with his human voice, which I obviously can't understand. I have no idea what you're saying, man. Give me a minute. I have no idea what you're saying, man. Give me a minute. The priest looks frustrated by his inability to communicate via pheromones despite being able to understand them. How would he even speak via scent? What sort of difference can a class make? What sort of difference can a class make in a human body? I whip together some mind mana and reach out to one-armed... the one-armed human. Well, I demand.
Oh, great one! We have heard of your ascension and have come to... Yeah! Loud! Tone it down, you oaf!
I apologize, Great One. My brothers and sisters have heard word of your ascension to a higher state of being through the colony. We have no desire to interfere in the process, but merely wish to be present for this holy and sacred occasion.
Seriously? He's so sincere, too. All of them are. They're staring at me with such light and hope in their eyes. All right, fine. Just stand out here and try not to be a nuisance. I can't believe you were even allowed this close to the brood. The look of joy that breaks over the priest's face is so bright it almost burns away all 10,000 of my retinas. He swirls around to the others, and within seconds all of them are shouting with joy and openly weeping. Quiet, would you? The brood chambers are right next to this place. If you disturb the young, don't think the brood tenders will go lightly on you.
Sorry, guys. Forgot to announce. Nope. Okay. Boom, boom. Sorry about that, guys.
When they receive my pheromone message, the gathered Antvancers regain control of themselves and return to a much quieter form of dumb behaviour. How did any of these guys survive the siege? They're clearly damaged. They look so damn happy, though. I just don't have the heart to chase them away. Move aside. Move aside, please. I need to get into the chamber. A few reach out to try and lay hands on my carapace when I walk past, which I wouldn't really mind, but before they can touch me, their hands are slapped away by small tentacles that emerge from the dark shadows on my back. Chrysalis says no, apparently. Once inside, I settle into a comfortable position with the triad of shapers assembled before me. Chrysalis, Tiny, and Vidya, you guys chow down on the leftover biomass whilst I get settled. Once I start evolving, I'll be in your care until I wake up, okay? Yes, Master.
It shall be so. It shall be so. It shall be. It shall be so.
Tiny is already eating.
All right, kid. You ready?
Grannon asks. Ready as I'll ever be, I suppose. Why are you guys here, anyway? Aren't we basically done with the advice process and such? Corin steps forward. I forget what Corin sounds like. Okay, sorry guys. I'm also needing to ask questions of some of my crew. Because I can't remember something. Do you guys remember if it was like, if we always, like all pheromone communication, if it had the delay and reverb on it?
Okay, also, I think we can go look up Karin. Chrysalis 5. That's who get the damn scripts. Chapter 139. Well, gonna have to open a different set. Okay, 139. Go, I think this is scoring. Nope. All right, there it is. All right, got it.
Yeah, we were just hoping to hear about the options you get into the... Yeah, we were just hoping to hear about the options you get in the evolution menu. We, as in the cult, document these sorts of things, and there's precious little information for powerful anti-evolutions. Like, almost none.
Look, I don't mind you guys knowing about some of this stuff, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable with you taking it back to your cult. Come to think of it, will you even be welcome back with the Shapers? Granin shrugs.
Unlikely. Bridges are pretty much burnt to the ground at this point. We can keep the info under our hat if that's what you want. There's a good chance we can learn more about your species and the different ways the system views your progress through the... There's a good chance we can learn more about your species and the different ways the system views your progress through the options you're given.
That sounds good then. Here we go. Come on then, Gandalf. Let's get this show on the road.
Would you like to use the evolution menu?
Hit me! Hit me! Hit me! Nope.
Congratulations on reaching the maximum level of your... Congratulations on reaching the maximum level for your current species. Evolution will allow you to change your form and increase your stats as a monster. You have maximized your mutations. As a reward, an additional 10% evolutionary energy will be granted. Warning: evolving will make securing XP and biomass more difficult as fewer rewards are given for preying on creatures less evolved than yourself. Evolving will make securing XP and biomass more difficult as fewer rewards are given for preying on creatures less evolved than yourself. Your evolution options are as follows. All options are for Myca Sapiens. Grand Major, Senior Ant Mage, Worker Commander, Ant Archmage, Special, Colony Guardian, Special, Hive General, Special, Elemental Ant, Rare, Diamond Soldier, Rare, All-Seeing Scout, Rare, Mature Colony Paragon, Rare.
Holy moly! That's a lot of options!
How many did you get?
Granin asks, his voice intent. 3 normal, 3 special, and 4 rare. Karin whistles, and Tarina looks impressed.
That's a good number. Means the system sees lots of potential paths in you. Only having one option isn't necessarily bad, but it means your avenues to develop have been narrowed to only a single path. Having lots at this stage means there's many directions for you that the system views as viable.
I check through the list again. Looks like the rare options I saw last time aren't popping up again. Nothing about the nascent hive mind or collective mage are here. I was kind of expecting they might still show in the list, perhaps in a different form.
Generally speaking, when a monster turns its back on a specialized path, the system won't present that option again.
Tarina says... Tarina says, while Corin scribbles down everything I say into a little notepad. Rare evolution choices tend to be very specific and often cut off paths when selecting them, so when you didn't take those options, the system disregarded them for you. Generic choices are still likely to show up, though. I'm guessing there are soldier and worker-type evolutions in the normal choices, right? Just so. Well, I'm not going to complain if the system no longer wants to turn me into an immobile, mind-controlling Well, I'm not going to complain if the system no longer wants to turn me into an immobile... Well, I'm not going to complain if the system no longer wants to turn me into an immobile, mind-controlling brain. Let's get through these, then. I'm going to assume you want all the descriptions and everything. All three of the Golgari eagerly nod. Sigh. Next chapter. What's up, Atman Cost? How's it going? For the colony. Thank you, Hispanican. Chapter 16. Evolution, Part 2. In the interests of expanding the colony's knowledge of future evolution options, I take the time to explore the normal evolutions I've been offered and let the... In the interest of expanding the colony's knowledge of future evolution options, I take the time to explore the normal evolutions I've been offered and let the eager triad document the stats... In the interests of expanding the colony's knowledge of future evolution options, I take the time to explore the normal evolutions I've been offered and let the eager triad document the stat gains, organ benefits, and descriptions offered by the system. In truth, the stat gain for even these ordinary evolutions is much higher than I expected, and my hopes are sky high for what the more delectable, rare choices will have to offer. With the first three options out of the way, I take the time to go through each of the special evolutions. You never know if there might be a diamond in the rough.
Special evolution. Ant Archmage. Plus 60 bonus to cunning. Plus 60 bonus to willpower. This evolution provides a significant boost to the power of the mind. This evolution provides a significant boost to the power of the mind, along with a mana weave core crystal. This new organ grows around the core and focuses the user's mind on the mana contained within, making it easier to handle and use. A new eye is also granted, the Mana Eye, which allows the Ant Archmage to project mental sensing abilities through the eye to increase their effectiveness.
Look at these stats! And the bonus organs are nuts! Mana Weave Core Crystal? Excuse me? This seems like a super useful organ for a monster like me who focuses more on traditional spell casting using mana from the core than most monsters who... This seems like a super useful organ for a monster like me who focuses more on traditional spell casting using mana from the core than most monsters who rely on mana glands. Grannon is quite impressed with the offering.
That's better than anticipated, to be honest. If you wanted to focus on a pure... That's better than anticipated, to be honest. If you wanted to focus on a pure spellcasting build, this wouldn't be a bad option at all. Don't underestimate the Mana Eye, either. It might not be as expensive as the crystal in terms of evolution energy, but it's no slouch. You can think of it as directly bumping your mana sense up a rank for free, and that's before you mutate it.
That's super good, isn't it?
Heck yes it is, Corin says. If you took this option, you'd almost be as good at spell shaping as Nvidia.
Being as strong as one of my pets. one that I already defeated doesn't make me all that happy. Still, the gulf between Invidia's and my mastery of magic is vast. Even getting close to his level will be hard. It's tricky. Even getting close to his level will be hard. It's tricky to remember sometimes, since he's just a little floating eyeball with tiny wings and arms, but Invidia's mass is like 90% brain. Did I say mass? Nope. Nope. The mage ants will want to know about this one for sure. The mage ants will want to know about this one for sure. Make sure you guys let them know when you complete your report.
Of course,
Granin says. On to the next.
Special Evolution. Colony Guardian. Plus 80 bonus to might. Plus 80 bonus to toughness. Focused on physical prowess. The Colony Guardian receives a large bonus to physical stats. Furthermore, additional purchases of physical stats are cheaper during this evolution. The carapace of the Colony Guardian will be reforged into Demonic Chitin. Warning, this will reset all mutations.
Granin whistles.
There it is, the first reset option.
I'm a bit confused. The raw stats are great, but the bonuses don't seem as good as the first option. Am I missing something?
You're probably undervaluing what's being offered quite...
You're probably undervaluing what's being offered quite a bit. Serena frowns, thinking. A reset consumes quite a bit of energy, so getting one for free is always an excellent thing. As to the physical stat cost reduction, this is also an excellent saving. If you poured all your evolutionary energy into physical stats, you could gain a truly monstrous boost. It's like getting bonus evolutionary energy from thin air. When you put it like that, I suppose it's better than I thought.
Honestly, out of the two options we've seen so far, I believe this one is better,
Granin advises.
You would sacrifice your mental stats in this evolution, but you could make yourself a physical powerhouse. You would sacrifice your mental stats in this evolution, but you could make yourself a physical powerhouse. Still, as we discussed, I wouldn't recommend a carapace reset this time around.
Right. And Demonic Chitin might sound strong, but it surely isn't as shiny as Living Diamond. Just wait for me, my precious.
Special Evolution. Hive General. Plus 20 bonus to Cunning. Plus 20 bonus to Will. Plus 40 bonus to Might. Plus 40 bonus to Toughness.
Excuse me.
A frontline leader, the Hive General benefits from mixed stats and grows in power the more of their kind fight on the battlefield. The Hive Storm Aura Gland... The Hive Storm Aura Gland will provide a scaling bonus to physical prowess, healing, and ferocity to all members of the same species within range. The more affected by the aura, the stronger it becomes. In addition, a collective tactical cortex will be added.
Crap.
Yeesh. This one sounds strong also.
This is good stuff,
Grannon says, practically smiling.
No reset, but that scaling aura is nasty. I've heard about it popping up a few times in the past when hive insects have spawned, and it never ends well. Seeing it at tier 6 kind of surprises me, but then again, it's hard to say when it would typically appear. Not many insect monsters get this high in tier, certainly not communal ones.
What's up, Dirk Gently? Good to see you. Thanks for coming. I mean, considering how many ants are in his colony, I think that it's kind of a no-brainer. Because think of the multiplying effect, how much that bonus gives him. By the way, this is a literal cold read. I have not pre-read this book, so I'm experiencing it for the first time right in front of your face. So it's pretty exciting. It's fun. It almost sounds a little insulting when he phrases it like that. But I can't disagree. With tens of thousands of members, the colony will struggle to push many members to tier 6 anytime soon. What the heck does the cortex do? I ask, wanting to see if he knows before I check with the system.
From what I understand, it's like having a mind map of every member of your species within range. You know where they are and how they're doing, generally. You know where they are and how they're doing, generally speaking. I suppose the idea is that you can instantly respond to changes on the battlefield.
Fair enough. I double check, and the Golgari is spot on. Grannon really knows his stuff. All right, enough with the appetizers. The old shaper rubs his hands together.
Nope.
All right, enough with the appetizers. Time for the main course. Let's take a look at the rare options.
Just as excited as he is, I fire up the menu for the first time of the rare options.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be on the field too. It just wouldn't give him extra bonuses for him fighting.
Rare evolution. Elemental ant. Plus 80 bonus to cunning. Plus 80 bonus to will. Plus 20 bonus to might. Plus 20 bonus to toughness. The elemental ant is a force of nature, with devastating spells that cover all the basic elements. In pursuit of elemental perfection, some potential is lost. A mythic omni-elemental mana flux is formed around the core. The antennae will be remade into spectrum crystal, able to better channel elemental mana and sense its flow. An all-season eye is granted. As a price, all non-elemental mana glands will be removed and banned. Non-elemental mana-based skills will be unavailable in the menu.
Yikes! This is some heavy stuff. Holy stat gain! I relay the information to Grannon, and he once again nods appreciatively.
I'm starting to think the system will reward communal insects who make it to the upper tiers. Spectrum crystal is not third stratum, maybe not even fourth. It's clear that your rank 5 fusion has opened this option for you. It's clear that your rank 5 fusion has opened this option for you. I have to say, it's strong. Very strong.
What is this mana flux thing?
A mana flux is like a, whirlpool. A mana flux is like a, whirlpool. 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 It draws mana in and changes its attribute before storing it in the core. This is the only way I know of that a core can hold attributed mana.
Nope.
This is the only way I know of that a core can hold attributed mana.
And since it's omni-element...
It'll hold all of the elements. You won't even need a construct to change it. You won't even need a construct to change it.
Wowee! This is impressive stuff. And the crystal thing?
It's basically a substance that reacts well to elemental mana. If you were to cast spells through your antennae, they'd become more powerful. Mutations would only further enhance that.
Right. The eye?
Lets you see elemental fluctuations. It's a specialized version of the mana eye from earlier.
All of this seems like good stuff.
It is. That's why the cost is high. You'll cut off a lot of future potential, but the payoff is massive.
This bears some thinking about.
They do make washing machines, so Anthony would turn into a clothes washing ant. Basically is what that means. I think maybe that stuff is bad for my throat. The Celsius stuff that I was just drinking. I think I need to slam that before stream. This is really good. It feels really good on my throat. Remove the stain of his enemies. Yep. Real quick, anybody who's just joining, wanted to remind you all that LitRPG Con is coming up. It's July 18th through 20th. It is the very first LitRPG convention. The first convention dedicated to the genre. And Soundbooth Theater is hosting it. July 18th through 20th in Denver, Colorado at the Grand Hyatt. Check out litrpgcon.com and you will find a giant list of all the biggest LitRPG authors and narrators in the genre. They're all going to be there. They're all going to be having a good time with you guys. This is all about the fans and having fun with you and getting together and playing games and doing some entertainment. And there's going to be fucking VR laser tag, which I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but it's expensive, so it ought to be fun. And so just $100 a ticket, basically. We are sold out of hotel rooms, but there's plenty of hotels around the hotel that we're at, so you can get it there. You can find new places to stay. Yeah, so go check out litrpgcon.com, and if you can't make it, or if you want more of your friends to come along, share the website, tell people about it. We need more attendees, and we'd love to have you there.
Chapter 17, Evolution, Part 3. After discussing the various benefits of the elemental ant, which are impressive to say the least, I'm ready to move on. Ah, shit.
I hate that.
After discussing the various benefits of the elemental ant, which are impressive to say the least, I'm ready to move on. As cool as the evolution is, I'm not about to throw away my precious gravity mana. Powerful elemental spells? Sure, that'd be great and all, but would they really match up to what... Powerful elemental spells? Sure, that'd be great and all, but would that... Powerful elemental spells? Sure, that'd be great and all, but would they really match up to what the gravity bomb can do? Can they match up to what the gravity bomb will be able to do in the future? The more mental strength I accumulate, the deadlier the gravity bomb will get. If I ever manage to actually snipe the gravity mana If I ever manage to actually snipe the gravity mana affinity skill, then my proficiency will soar. Besides, trading future growth for strength in the present is just not my style. I'd much rather go the other way. Moving on to the next option, the Diamond Soldier. I've got a good feeling about this one.
Rare evolution. Diamond Soldier. Plus 20 to cunning. Plus 20 bonus to cunning. Plus 20 bonus to will. Plus 100 bonus to might. Plus 100 bonus to toughness. The Diamond Soldier is an unbreakable frontline warrior and leader who is capable of turning the tide of battle single-handed. The Diamond Soldier is an unbreakable frontline warrior and leader who is capable of turning The Diamond Soldier is an unbreakable frontline warrior and leader who is capable of turning the tide of battle single-handed without drawing on the support of others of its kind. The carapace and mandibles will be reforged into fetid diamond, a material as hard as it is toxic. Enemies who draw too close or suffer a bite will experience the immensely powerful poison embedded within. Warning: this will reset all mutations. In addition, a diamond parasite hive will be added.
What? Granin winces.
I was worried about this happening,
he says. What do you mean?
This is basically the option you wanted next, evolution. Despite how it sounds, this is better than I thought you might get at this stage. Fetid diamond is an exceptionally powerful fifth stratum material. Hard as nails, much more so than your current exoskeleton, and even a touch of the stuff is capable of killing the unprepared. Hard as nails, much more so than your current exoskeleton, and even a touch of the stuff is capable of killing the unprepared. Your mandibles would effectively get not only a hardness upgrade, but an exceptionally potent toxin upgrade for free.
But what's this about a parasite hive? I'm not sure how I feel about that. Tarina raises her hands in a calming gesture. It's a good thing, even if it sounds a little weird. Basically, a small nest of symbiotic parasites would be created within the carapace, and they excrete material that hardens and toughens your shell over time. It's a powerful upgrade. I'm not really comfortable with voluntarily adding parasites to my carapace. If you'd gotten this option next time, you probably would have seen some of the diamond types from the 5th stratum, like I told you about. No, that's Grannon.
If you'd gotten this option next time, you probably would have seen some of the diamond types from the 5th stratum, like I told you about. There's still a chance you might see it, but since it came up here...
The odds are diminished.
Right.
Well, damn. Is fetid diamond even shiny? All 3 of the Golgari look away. It's more of a dull yellow-green. Tarina mutters. Rejected, damn it! I really had my hopes up for the Diamond Soldier. The stats are great, the cash-ins are good, just the material is wrong. What a waste! What a waste! If this costs me... What a waste! If this costs me my perfect diamond upgrade next time, I'm going to be super annoyed. Annoyed, I say! Bah to you, Gandalf! Even if I have to pay for the cash-ins myself, I'm getting me a sweet 5th stratum diamond shell, no matter what. Next!
Rare Evolution. All-Seeing Scout. Plus 40 bonus to Cunning. Plus 30 bonus to Will. Plus 80 bonus to Might. Plus 80 bonus to Toughness. To see all and know all. To see all and know all is the To see all and know all is the purpose of the All-Seeing Scout. The eyes are remade into demonic lenses. Warning, this will reset all mutations. In addition, a visual array matrix will be added to the brain, along with a spectral wave eye. Together, these will eliminate the ability of the All-Seeing Scout to see, instead allowing them to view all things in the mind's eye.
Wait. Becoming an all-seeing scout makes me blind?
Pretty much. You'd be a bit like Chrysalis. You'd be a bit like Chrysalis, except with far more potent... You'd be a bit like Chrysalis, except with far more potent non-visual sight. The 2 demonic lenses don't act like eyes at all, more like receptors that coordinate with the spectral wave eye to capture signals that normal eyes can't see. The visual array matrix is pretty much a must for this sort of build, since your normal brain won't be able to interpret the scope of information that you'll be getting.
Huh. So, if I think about this with an Earth analogy, the 2 demonic lenses are like satellite dishes, the spectral eye is like the antenna, and the matrix is like a computer. The eye detects the signals collected by the dishes, and the matrix interprets it all. The eye detects the signals collected by the dishes, and the matrix interprets it all. The eye detects the signals collected by the dishes, and the matrix interprets it all. I mean, it sounds handy. but I'm not convinced it's for me.
This is actually strong, Corin pipes up. Sensory upgrades are expensive, very much so, and a package like this is pretty much top of the line for a monster of your tier. You'd be impossible to sneak up on, and don't underestimate the benefits that these types of sensors can have for mages.
I turn to Grannon. It's
true. Your sensitivity to mana will go way up. Forget mana sense. With this setup, you'll be able to see mana. Heck, you can actually see a short distance into stone, if my memory serves. And this is all before mutations. You can upgrade the lenses to be more sensitive, have longer range, collect in a wider area, specialize in a certain type of input, and ditto with the spectral eye. A small side benefit, demonic lenses are, as I said, not eyes. They're hard, much harder than chitin. You'd effectively eliminate the weak point in your carapace with this evolution.
That is an unexpected and potentially juicy side benefit. Initially, I was quite disappointed in this evolution, but I'm warming up to it after their analysis. It's true that having better information is a key component of battle. Knowing where your opponent is at all times, finding them before they find you, all extremely important, especially for the stealthy one-on-one style combat that scouts tend to engage in. If I spent more time roaming out on my own than I did fighting alongside the colony, this would be a better combat evolution than even the Diamond Soldier, in my opinion. If I spent more time roaming out on my own than I did fighting alongside the colony, this would be a better combat evolution than even the Diamond Soldier, in my opinion. I'll have to think about this one carefully if the next evolution disappoints. And now I'm a bit hesitant. I'm not sure how much I'm going to tell you about the next evolution, I told the Triad. It has to do with my current species, and there's a few things in there I'm not sure I want to share.
Yeah, this is my Soundbooth Theater customer service shirt. my Soundbooth Theater sales associate shirt.
I wondered why you wouldn't let me take a look at your core,
Grannon muses, stroking his chin.
I can make a few guesses, obviously, but I was never confident I was right.
He looks to his Triad mates. Trina gives him a small nod, and Corrin shrugs. Then Grannon turns back to me with a smile.
Our advice will obviously be limited without full information, but you have every right to your secrets. I will just say this. Evolutions that go in a sequence, like from minor to major or young to mature, are usually better to be seen through all the way. There's a pattern, or rather a set, of benefits that the system intends will be completed over the course of multiple evolutions. If you bail partway through, you generally won't get the full package that the system intended. Sometimes there are perfectly good reasons to go in a different direction, though, so don't feel trapped.
I nod my antennae. Thanks, Grannon, and you guys also. I appreciate you respecting my boundaries.
Hey, this is your decision. We're just here for the ride.
More like you want to stuff me on a throne, Grannon laughs.
More like, I want you to climb onto the throne on your own. But that's still a long, long way off.
Who knows how far off? I still don't even know how deep the dungeon is. I asked Grannon, and he told me he had no idea. Apparently nobody does. According to what the Cult of the Worm knows, nobody has ever encountered the Ancients on their own stratum, only in higher layers during particularly powerful waves, and, of course, during the Cataclysm. For all I know, there's 30 stratum, and I won't reach the strength of an Ancient until I'm tier 50. Bah! No more stalling. I'm nervous for this one. Okay, here we go.
Sorry, I gotta check on Instagram. How are you Instagram people doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Rare evolution. Mature colony paragon. Plus 40 bonus to cunning. Plus 40 bonus to willpower. Plus 90 bonus to might. Plus 90 bonus to toughness. The colony paragon grows in strength and stature, pioneering all areas in which the colony seeks to excel. A leader, a soldier, and a symbol, the paragon is one with the colony, and the colony is one with the paragon. The collective will vestibule, Formica sapiens, will be reforged into soul crystal. Warning, this will reset all mutations. In addition, a communal spirit nave will be attached.
What?
Chapter 18. Evolution, Part 4. First of all, these stats are insane. Look at these numbers! It wasn't as if the juvenile colony paragon had had bonuses to begin with, but this is taking it to another level. It feels like what Grannon told me is true, but more than that, I can almost sense the system, the bearded one, urging me to stick to a path and see the evolutions through. I wonder if there's another paragon-type evolution to follow after this one. If so, how far does it go? Questions, questions. Beyond the mandible-clacking stat gain, the vestibule being cashed in. Beyond the mandible-clacking stat gain, the vestibule being cashed in is... Beyond the mandible-clacking stat gain, the vestibule being cashed in is pretty much what I expected. It's the defining piece of the paragon evolution and a key element of the species that is clearly going to be built on. The main issue I have is I don't know whether or not Soul Crystal is any good, or if I should be holding out for better. It certainly sounds good. Souls are powerful, right? I've certainly not heard of anything like it. There's no obvious demonic link to tie this to the third stratum, or the fourth, to be honest. Perhaps Grannon can fill me in? Do I ask? I'm not sure exactly why I'm as hesitant as I am to reveal information about my species to Grannon, Terina, and Corin. I trust them, and after everything that's happened, they've thrown their lot in behind me to agree. I trust them, and after everything that's happened, they've thrown their lot in behind me to a degree that only fanatical cultists could probably justify. On the other hand, there are aspects to the paragon that I'm not totally comfortable with, like the will of the colony constantly seeping into me, a process that will probably only get worse with this new spirit nave, whatever that is. For now, I won't ask. Perhaps if I get further into the evolution menu, I'll be able to suss something out about this crystal. Come on then, Gandalf, tell me something about this nave. You were awfully quiet about it. In the description.
The communal spirit nave acts as a channel for the energy of the vestibule, directing and focusing it, concentrating it into a more dense and powerful energy. Oops.
Huh. Interesting. That means it's like an amplifier for the regenerative energy that the vestibule already provides. That's nice, I can handle that. Nothing too strange about it. For a moment there, I was worried I'd be hearing the voices of my siblings' spirits as well as their minds, and quite frankly, I think that would just about drive me nuts. What do you have to say about the soul crystal, then, O beardy boy of the bristling brows?
Soul crystal, an exceptionally rare material of pure condensed souls. Soul crystal is the perfect medium through which to move spiritual energy. Soul crystal is the perfect medium through which to move spiritual energy.
All right, then. I'm going to assume the energy gathered by the vestibule counts as spiritual energy. Otherwise, this upgrade would make little sense. Reading the description, there really doesn't seem to be any tie to the third or fourth stratum, which makes me wonder if it's even from... Reading the description, there really doesn't seem to be any tie to the third or fourth stratum, which makes me wonder if it's from even deeper. If so, this is an absolute payday. I've decided on my evolution.
I'm going to assume it's the last one, then. I'm going to assume it's the last one, then.
I nod.
Right. I would love to know more about it, but I completely respect your desire for privacy. I hope you can give us some general information so we know what to expect and can offer suggestions before we go into the final phase of the menu.
I give the triad the general information, such as the stats, and make a few allusions to the evolution buffing certain advantages that I already have. Also, I don't want to expose too much here, but I suspect the reset I've been offered might... be from the fourth, or deeper. All three of their eyes go wide at that, and Grannon whistles sharply.
If that's true, it's a big deal. The types of matter found in the deeper parts of the dungeon far outstrip anything you find higher up. Each level down is a real qualitative leap. The amount of evolutionary energy packed into that reset alone will make evolution worth the while, besides the rest of it.
That's good to hear. Makes me feel a little more comfortable and secure in my choice. Do you have any advice going into the next phase? The three of them confer for a few short minutes before they come back to me.
Keep in mind the things we talked about and make sure you hit your stat goals. If you make sure to hit the values we talked about, you should be able to achieve what you want. The extra stats you get from this evolution help a lot, and you can either put in the energy that we planned and push your numbers even higher, or you can spend that energy elsewhere. Try and shore up a few weaknesses.
Good advice. All right. I'm going in. Having confirmed my species, I'm taken deeper into the menu, and the vast playground that is the manual evolution screen enfolds me. Having confirmed my species, I'm taken deeper into the menu, and the vast playground that is the manual evolution screen enfolds me within its brace. Fuck! Having confirmed my species, I'm taken deeper into the menu, and the vast playground that is the manual evolution screen enfolds me within its embrace. I have quite a few decisions that need to be made at this point, but before I worry about any of that, I take a moment to admire the vast pool of evolutionary energy I have at my disposal. The core of Garralosh is paying dividends right now in the form of his... The core of Garralosh is paying dividends right now in the form of this enormous wealth, truly the most I could hope to extract from my current tier, with the bonus on top for max mutations. I have a lot of largesse to unload. First things first, I need to spend my bonus stat points. I've spent a lot of my might on increasing my size, getting as many stats as I could at the expense of getting larger. This time, I feel comfortable concentrating more on increasing the density of my musculature. As I spend the free points, I can tell that my size is still going to increase significantly, but the overall strength I'll exert will... Fuck. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I hate that shit. As I spend the free points, I can tell that my size is still going to increase significantly, but the overall strength I'll exert will skyrocket even more as my muscles compact and become denser. The toughness I spread around fairly evenly, hardening my body overall and increasing the amount of punishment I can take. The exoskeleton thickens and hardens. The chitin on my legs... The exoskeleton thickens and hardens. The exoskeleton thickens and hardens. The chitin on my legs grows stronger. Tougher. The exoskeleton thickens and hardens. The chitin on my legs grows tougher, and my internal body becomes ever so slightly more durable. Next is a big spend. The first thing I do is make all of my brains mutable. All 4 of them. It takes more energy to do that than I thought it would, though it's likely because brain matter and neurons are so much more complex than anything like... It takes more energy to do that than I thought it would, though it's likely because brain matter and... It takes more energy to do that than I thought it would, though it's likely because brain matter and neurons are so much more complex than something like muscle fibre or chitin. With that job done, I get to the more difficult task of allocating... With that job done, I get to the more difficult task of allocating my bonus stats. The aim of the game here isn't to create more sub-brains, absolutely not. After chatting with Granin, I've come to understand that my earlier strategy to increase my brain power isn't the most efficient way, but with further investment will pay off. I need each of my brains to be capable of weaving and handling mind magic constructs. This is going to take a ton of energy to achieve, even after the generous bonus stats from my evolution. I get to work beefing up each of my brains with additional brain matter and pumping up the will investment in each. I decide not to hold back and push harder in this department, raising my mental power to the point where my suffering when trying to use the omni-elemental construct will be utterly scrubbed from my mind. It's not a sexy spend, but I'm satisfied with it. All in all, it costs me almost half of my available energy to achieve, but with this, my days of magical dominance are just beginning. With what remains, I need to start shopping for my cash-in option. There's so much to choose from. After I take the mandibles and carapace off the table, there are only a few main body parts for me to play with. In the end, I decide to focus on my antennae. It might seem like nothing, but my antennae have evolved to become a key component of my build. The future sight alone pulls its weight and is something I will absolutely reinvest in once I can. I'm a bit disappointed to see that the Spectrum Crystal is outside of my budget. That would have been a real nice pickup. Sadly, it isn't to be. Instead, I look through the possible options that are within my limits, and there are many. Most of these shiny new antennae are clearly from the third stratum, with titles like Infernal Lattice Antennae or Weave of Greed Antennae. As little as I like the idea of these demonic-sounding names being attached to me, I'm sure there's something I can find that's going to serve my purpose. I'm pretty open to the benefits, and I don't mind if it's something that helps my future sight, or something that helps my spellcasting, or even just improves my sense of smell to a high degree. There's a heap of options that give weird stuff. like my antennae having the ability to blast enemies with fire, or turn any fire spell channeled through them into a more powerful infernal flame variant, even one that allows me to sense, of all things, people's inner desires. What the heck do I care about people's inner desires? I already get the wants of my family seeping into my head through the vestibule. People outside of the family don't matter to the point I need to peek inside their heads. Bah! Where'd it go? People outside of the family don't matter to the point I need to peek inside their heads. Bah! There has to be something good. Aha! What have we here?
Twilight filament. A material with extreme sensitivity to vibrations that reacts to sensory input of all kinds.
All kinds, eh? Including the echoes of the future? Including the echoes of the future? I'm getting the sense. Heh. I'm getting the sense. Heh. That it will, based on that vague, all-encompassing description. I feel good about it, and I'm happy to dodge some of the more bizarre and evil-sounding options. What's up with these demons? Lock that in! Huh. What do you know? A little more energy left over after that one, which is a happy surprise. I think I'll make use of that and bulk up my physical stats a little more. This will be the evolution where I finally stamp my authority as a physical and mental powerhouse. No longer a weak little hatchling, I'm going to be so mighty. I eagerly look over my selections. I cannot wait to evolve. Chapter 19. That blinding beard. Chapter 9. Okay. I check my options one last time before confirming everything. I have to say, the old status sheet is looking pretty darn good. A massive boost in stats, my brain's becoming mutable, a heck of a lot more physical power, and the benefits of expanding my vestibule set up to become even more of an enduring powerhouse. I can hardly wait! Not to mention the slow process of reforging my body into something better than what I started with is quite exciting. It may only be the antennae and vestibule so far, but eventually the whole body will be remade. We can make it better, faster, stronger! We have the technology! Satisfied with my new display, I confirm the options and once more feel my consciousness falling into the now familiar sinkhole of nothingness. The sensation of having your awareness circling a drain filled with a black void is a little disconcerting. But, as the saying goes, you can adapt to anything, so it's more of a detached fascination that I feel as I fall down and down until I come into the presence of the great bearded one once more.
I don't actually have a beard, you know.
The voice echoes through my mind, sounding mildly amused. Look, Gandalf has a beard. Gandalf without a beard just isn't a thing. I don't think my mind could even comprehend it. Like fire without heat, or water without wet. If Gandalf didn't have a beard, would he even be Gandalf? Actually, this is getting deep.
I am not this Gandalf that you keep calling me. You do realize that, don't you?
Are you going to tell me your name this time?
No.
Gandalf you remain.
I suppose that's fair enough. In terms of the level of delusion those in your position usually possess, this is quite minor. all things considered.
Yeah, that's a question I have, actually. How many of my kind are kicking around down here? Since the last time we spoke, I've met 3. 3! It's not like I've covered a wide range of territory, either. It's not like I've covered a wide range of territory, either. Only a tiny sliver of the world. Are you constantly snatching souls from Earth? What's your deal, man?
The collection and injection of souls into the world is not something I handle directly. The collection and injection of souls into the world is not something I handle directly. The collection and injection of souls into the world is not something I handle directly. It is mere happenstance that your world aligns closely with this one. When a suitable soul is detected, it is drawn here and reborn into the dungeon. It is simply a thing that is. It is simply a thing that is.
Huh. You've mentioned this before, but suitable tends to mean a bit nuts, from what I understand.
Most minds are not capable of surviving the transition to a monstrous form. The following challenge of having to endure within the dungeon breaks the rest.
It sounds like you have experience with this.
Oh, yes. It was quite some time before the filter could determine who had the better chance of survival. The first generations of transplanted souls were disappointing, to say the least.
Sounds like a relatively mild way of describing people suffering breakdowns and getting eaten by monsters.
As I said, it isn't something I control directly. It is merely part of the working.
Uh-huh. Well, thank goodness the dungeon is filled with crazies, eh? So much more stable and easy to deal with. You weren't lying about Garralosh, by the way. She was completely gone. Fully nuts. To be honest, if it weren't for that, I probably wouldn't have survived fighting her.
It's true that she had suffered long. She showed much early promise, but her savagery was not tempered by cunning. She grew too fast and did not hide her strength from those who... would do her harm. Any monster that shows such rapid growth is marked with a target, something she failed to grasp until it was far too late.
Do I have that same target painted on my back now, seeing as I was the one who killed her?
To some extent, perhaps. You have already drawn to your side those that would see you grow to full... You have already drawn to your side those that would see you grow to your full potential.
Do you mean Grannon and the Triad? You know about the cult? Or should I say cults?
Of course. There is nothing that happens on this world that is outside of my purview, should I wish it to be so.
Then I suppose you would know all about the Ancients and the stuff they have going on?
Of course. Everything the system touches is within my scope. Everything the system touches is within my scope. Everything the system touches is within my scope.
The voice sounds rather smug at this.
Regardless of what they might wish, they are bound by it still.
You make it sound as if they want to break out of the system. Is something like that even possible?
Should I fill in all the blanks for you? What reason would I have to answer such a question?
Because you're super nice? Well, that got a laugh out of him.
You are an interesting specimen, I must admit. Your species has become quite a force, and you yourself continue to rise from strength to strength. Your current path of evolution has you on a powerful trajectory. I am curious, however, on how comfortable you are with tying so much of your strength into the survival of your species. Without them, you will only possess a fraction of the strength.
I mean, it's fine, I guess. If they all die, it's not like I'm going to be alive anyway, right? The great bearded ones. I mean, it's fine, I guess. If they all die, it's not like I'm going to be alive anyway, right? The great bearded one's silence is not reassuring.
Why? Why? Why?
What do you mean, why? It's obvious I'd die attempting to save them. As if it were even possible that the Queen would be killed before me.
I find it so curious that someone with your history of families would be so attached to what could only loosely be described. I find it so curious that someone with your history of families would be so attached to what could only loosely be described as a family in this world.
Loosely described? Don't be absurd. We're all related. Heck, most of us are straight-up siblings, and my previous experience might not have been perfect.
You were abandoned and left to starve to death.
You bring up the starving thing every time. It might not have been perfect, but I couldn't have asked for a better family this time around. I get so much trust and support from them. It would be weird if I didn't try to give it back. Which brings up something else I really wanted to say to you, now that I have the chance.
Oh? Something you want to say to me?
Yes. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I thought I should say it in case I don't get another chance. Suppose I just wanted to say thanks, I guess. Thanks for letting me be born here, as an ant. I feel like I fit in here, probably better than I ever did on Earth. And it's been good, so thanks. There's a moment of silence between us.
You know, I don't think anyone has ever thanked me for being born here. Not in the entire history of the system. I have to say, the experience is a little odd. You're welcome? Is that what people say at moments like this?
I suppose so. Just how out of touch with manners are you?
Very. Our time has come to an end, I sense. Good luck until I see you again. Try not to die.
Well, that's a cheery thought to end on. The darkness takes me. Once more, my soul returns to my body, and then all sensation disappears as I begin to change. My last thought is that I hope I'm not asleep for too long.
All right, let's try and fit one more chapter in. It looks short enough.
Chapter 20. The Sanctum of Sleep. Part 1.
No, this is a third-person chapter, so I'm actually going to keep this. I'm actually going to keep this till tomorrow, guys. Third person means it's going to take me longer to do it. And I have to be in the manager's meeting in 5 minutes. So you guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me while I narrated more of Chrysalis 6. I will be back at it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. Let's see, what time am I going to get started? Ah, yes. Okay, so tomorrow's a little tricky because tomorrow might not happen. I have 2 different directing sessions to do tomorrow. For Everybody Loves Large Chests and for what is it called? The Bones at Point No Point. So I don't think I'm going to have time to narrate. So it will have to be on Friday. Let's see. Friday, I'm starting back up at noon Central. So watch out for notifications. I will be back at it then. And yeah, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to make sure you do get notifications. And yeah, don't forget to go to litrpgcon.com if you want to come hang out with Soundbooth Theater and pretty much every goddamn author of LitRPG you can think of. You guys were excellent. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.